Hello, hello! Perfidious Pete here, back for more salty screaming and snide snarking down in the shambler-infested sewers and wicked warrens of Perfidious Manor in Darkest Dungeon. And after last episode, I'm not ashamed to admit, I'm saltier than a wad of pork inside the stomach of a Victorian whaler after 8 months spent stranded on a desert island drinking nothing but seawater. Not even the single pristine ionic bond between an atom of sodium and an atom of chlorine epitomizes salt better than I do right now. In fact, I think I may have transcended salt entirely. I've moved beyond the actual chemistry of sodium and sublimated into the plane of pure theory. When it comes to salt, I am the platonic ideal. So take that, Darkest Dungeon. Because you and your ambushed by the shambler after 12 feet in the dungeon bullshit are responsible for my Emersonian transcendence. There's nothing more you can do to hurt me now, Darkest Dungeon. I am a thing of pure theory and undiluted imagination. I am untouchable. It doesn't matter that your juice isn't worth the squeeze, because at this point, I've already won. I have transcended the mortal plane. The rest of this, it's all ephemeral to me now, Darkest Dungeon. None of it matters. None of it. I win, Darkest Dungeon. This time, I win. And I would also probably like to win at another mission, so let's go take a look and see what kind of bullshit the dungeon has in store for us today. It's not going to be a shambler after 12 feet into a dungeon, because I can assure you I'm never ever again going in without torches. Basically, what I've learned on dark runs is that they're just a recipe for failure. You're going to lose money treating the stresses and disease, and that's if you even complete the mission, which, something like, based on my research, 2 out of 3 times you can't actually do because the shambler just shows up and completely bones you in the poop hole. So, let's leave our poop holes unexplored, and I would like to take Susan McAllister into a dungeon, but we don't really have a team that's going to be able to do that. Django and Garrett are probably both going to likely wind up fired. You know what? If we're going to fire Django and Garrett, we should really kind of stop dicking around about it and actually just do it. So you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just take them. You're off the roster, boys. I'm sorry. You're eating up valuable real estate. I don't really have any use for both of you right now, so good day to you, sir, and good day to you, sir, Django Fett. Both of you, be gone forthwith from my sight. I can abide your presence no longer. Django, I'm sorry. Garrett, I'm even more sorry. Django was kind of a fuck-up, but Garrett Jax, honestly, you didn't deserve this. You should blame the developers for making Men-at-Arms suck for what's happening to you, sir. This is, I mean, there's nothing, you didn't do anything wrong, Garrett. It's not you. It's not you, Garrett Jax. It's me. It's me, Garrett. It's me. I'm a scumbag. So, if we had Burrick and Susan McAllister on the same team, well, one, it's kind of a terrible team. What could we possibly backfill that in with? We would need more healing at a minimum. And somebody, you know, actually, what if we did Houndmaster? No, it's not going to work. I was going to think Arbalist, but we actually can't do an Arbalist. Because we need, if this team is going to have Susan McAllister and Burrick, that's like our 3 and 4 slots completely taken up. So we would need frontline guys. Actually, that team just won't work. That's a team we actually just can't make work. We might be able to do something with Hopfrog. Let's take a look at the abilities. What can you do from the second slot? You could still Noxious Blast. Plague Grenade is out. Incision would be in. Battlefield Medicine is out. Blinding Gas is out. Emboldening Vapors is just pointless. Nope. Alright. So, no, there's no chance you could operate from the second slot. What about Burrick? Hound's Rush, Hound's Harry. Cry Havoc, you could do everything but Cry Havoc from the second slot. So, Target Whistle, Guard Dog is interesting. Or Blackjack. Blackjack is real bad. It's a stun, and they're terribly useless. Guard Dog is not useless, and Target Whistle actually would help your damage. So, theoretically, we could put Burrick in a second position slot. If we did that, though, he's going to be not exactly ideally useful. But you know what? I think that's worth investigating. All right, so let's see if we can actually make this work. We can adjust Burrick very slightly. We're going to take him in, do a little wrenching. I mean, we don't have to completely abandon the guy, but He does need some tuning up. That's fine. We'll just throw him up on the rack. He'll be alright, Burrick. We'll get you taken care of, buddy. Don't worry. Everybody needs a little tweak now and then. Also, we should probably upgrade skills for the people who need their skills upgraded, I guess. Yeah, fuck it. None of these skills are useful, so let's buy all of them. Because by, logic, that's the best possible plan. I'm doing the same thing for Hop Frog, and I don't know why. Actually, I do know why, because for Hop Frog, it makes sense. We can use a combat jester occasionally. There's a chance we could put Hop Frog in, like, a second position and have him be a combat jester for us. That could work, so let's fully upgrade him as well. And then let's go find 2 low-level replacements here. I'm actually kind of liking maybe picking up another Leper. If we did Leper... that team... You know what? I think it could work. I'm not entirely sold on it, and it's definitely not going on this mission, but I think we could do Leper, Arbalest. Yeah, we could do this. Okay, so that could work. That's fine. We can actually make this one happen. And you know what? We've got to... I can't let the Weapons Master linger in ignominy. That's simply not going to happen. It's not fully appropriate, but damn it, I'm resurrecting the Weapons Master. Garrett Jax is coming back. He's going to be my Leper. That's a thing that's going to happen. And as for our little Arbalest here, we love Katniss Everdeen. We love what Katniss brings to the party. We need another young adult badass. Katniss Everdeen getting it done, and if she can get it done, then goddammit, Tally Youngblood can also get it done. Because Tally Youngblood is a way bigger badass than Katniss Everdeen ever even thought about being. So you know what? Actually, why don't we just take this... I don't want to sort them by... Yeah, sort them by level, please. Not reverse level. There you go. Nope, you sorted them by reverse level, Darkest Dungeon. Dungeon is trolling me. But let's take our newbies in. I like this team. I'm excited to be a part of it. Let's see what we can do about short missions. So we got apprentice missions. We have 3. Explore 90% of rooms. I like that. Any of these got busts? Busts are really kind of what we're looking for. Deeds, sigils, Book of Intuition. That's actually not terrible. What are you? Heaven's Hairpin. Not fantastic, actually. Kind of terrible, now that I fully look at it. Let's avoid that. Alright, so here's what we're going to do then. It's Tally Youngblood. We're going to go with Susan McAllister. Believe me, I'm not happy about it. I'm not. Oh, we need to adjust skills, though. Alright, so let's head to the guild then. Tally's going to need to get the right skills, because she does not have Battlefield Bandage, which we want. Other than that, though, she's good. Sniper Shot. Okay, she has everything else we like. I don't like Blind Fire at all, and I think Rallying Flare is kind of pointless. Garrett, let's get you all sorted. Garrett, what's Purge? Clears all corpses. That could actually be quite useful. It only hits the first slot, but it clears all... You know what? Let's take Purge. And I do like Solemnity, but you know what? We can't not have Revenge. I mean, we can't not have Revenge. It's too good. Alright, so let's get this lined up. We gotta get Revenge activated. I'm gonna try Purge out. I almost never use Solemnity, which is why I am less inclined to take it. I don't use it very much. It is good, and in a low healing party, having a self-heal is useful. But I really want to try and... I'm gonna test Purge out on this run, just to see how it works. Tally Youngblood, you've got everything. Let's get rid of that stupid Bolo ability. Other than that, you're sorted. Susan McAllister, you're a fucking hot mess, but it is what it is. Burrick, we need to switch your skills around very quickly. Get rid of Cry Havoc. We're going to give you Target Whistle instead. Let's do this, newbies. All right, new team. It's time to prove your mettle. This is it. We're going in. This is like a standardized test, man, at the end of the semester, even though it's your first day. It'd be like if you came in and they gave you your end-of-the-year testing on the first day of school. That's exactly what's going on right here, and I expect you guys to step up. I really hate dog treats. I mean, both as a food individually, because they kind of suck. I mean, they're sort of bland and tasteless and largely made from hog anus, which, while I am partial to hog anus, admittedly, it's not really that tasty. But mostly, I hate them because they take up a completely unnecessary inventory slot, which is total bullshit. I don't like having a buff item that takes up an inventory slot. It's lame. If you want to add that in as a mechanic, that's fine. Do it in a different fashion. Don't take up one of my inventory slots with that piece of crap. Because theoretically... Here's the reason I object. Theoretically, the Houndmaster is balanced about that item being part of his repertoire, and no other class has a similar thing. I would rather the Houndmaster just be better all the time and never have an item that I have to carry around in my inventory and debate, is this the correct time to use it, or should I just not... Should I eat it now, even though it's pointless, because I want to pick up this extra 1,500 gold, or should I just fucking throw it on the floor? Just don't make that an intrinsic part of the class, really. That's a bad idea. We have to explore 90% of rooms. I'm going to check this room first, and then we'll ignore probably one of those two at the top. And so we do have a hallway fight. Clearly, I have chosen poorly. You have chosen poorly. Well, I'm sorry I didn't have Indiana Jones on my side to let me know that maybe, just maybe, I should have taken the plain cup. I mean, I'm no Henry fucking Jones. I don't know what you want from me. I'm just a man. I'm sorry, Dr. Jones. You suck. You pick a poorly, Dr. Jones. You know Dr. Jones. You fake Dr. Jones. You just idiot who play video games on the internet. This huge racial stereotype, short round, very culturally insensitive. Alright, so... yeah, you're taking quite a bit of damage there, Garrett Jax. Sort of unfortunate levels of damage, but proving yourself to be a true weapons master, coming back with some nice work. Tally Youngblood there to patch you up a little. Alright, Susan, you know what? Just keep stabbing, McAllister. Honestly, just keep stabbing. A little stressful incantation for Burke, that's unfortunate. He'll be alright, though. We can't cry havoc from our current position, but that's okay. Burke getting dodged, unfortunate. Let's try the Purge ability. It hit, and it... okay, oh, so it works. Alright, fine. We can, periodically, if we have to, sacrifice one turn to have our leper just take out all the corpses. And all things considered, that's a reasonably useful ability for the leper, especially considering the fact that he does not have a vast assortment of different locations. He can't really hit every location very well, is what I'm trying to get at here. Alright, so Hound's Rush is not proven to be particularly unexciting. Is it the mark ability he has for his dog an actual mark? That's the question. Is that an actual mark? Because if it is an actual mark, the Houndmaster and the Arbalest team up together quite nicely. Let's take a look at that before we advance any further. And we did pick up 2 buffs, which is good. We were interested in buffs. So is this an actual mark? Target whistle. Actually, Burke, we gotta completely redo your whole thing, because shit is out of order. I can't stand it when shit is out of order. So is target whistle a mark? Plus 55% damage from Hound's Rush and minus 5 dodge. It is absolutely not a mark. But I'm trying to debate whether or not damage plus 20 versus beast. I'm trying to debate whether or not target whistle is actually worth it. Should you target whistle on something that's going to be dead in less than 1 turn? Because it adds 55% damage, so we're looking at total, assuming your first Hound's Rush hits, you'd be looking at a total of 155% damage versus 200% damage if you just Hound's Rushed twice. It does lower its protection, which is good. So, arguably, to make a positive benefit on target whistle, you would have to target whistle and then Hound's Rush 2 additional times. So, you should never target whistle something that you're going to kill in 1 round. It's only for units that are going to be alive for 2 turns or more, and it does not count as a mark for Katniss Everdeen. Alright, so it's of reasonably limited usefulness as a result. The math on that doesn't really bear out as it being particularly fantastic. And I hate Plague Doctors with a burning passion because their dots are so terrible, but Incision is actually an okay ability. 80% damage with a tiny bleed on it. The bleed is largely irrelevant, but it's a swing that McAllister can do that does something, unlike throwing blight grenades at shit, which are just going to resist them and get you absolutely nothing, because it does like 1 damage on impact. I have a very significant problem with attacks that have no immediate damage from the attack connecting. They're very badly designed. Or at least they're just not useful. For instance, let's look at this. Okay, so Noxious Blast. Base damage mod is minus 75%. It's going to hit for like 2. Okay. So we'll have... See, here's the thing. That hit for 2 damage. Alright, Garrett Jax missed. Garrett Jax probably could have killed both of those guys in all reality. But Burrick, who is not a fantastically powerful offensive class, has already done 6 damage with his 1 attack. He got 6. That didn't even get to Blight, so effectively that... Resistances just make those completely worthless. They really, really do make them absolutely pointless. Especially on stuff that's going to be quickly dead. If you were to throw that attack, see, 5 damage and a 1-point bleed would have just killed the guy. Incision is the Plague Doctor's better ability. I don't understand your theory in the dot. I don't understand your theory crafting developers with the dot stuff. I don't understand how you think they're not terrible. How do you think that they're even remotely balanced? Even with the new protection stuff, where enemies take less damage from just regular getting hit with a sharp instrument, they still do less damage. And it's not a little bit less, they do dramatically less. Ridiculously less, hugely less. We're not talking about a small difference to be like, oh, you know, in some fights it actually comes out more. It's always less damage. 10 out of 10 cases, it's less damage. Even on something with a ridiculously high protection stat, it's still, given their resistances, it still comes out to less damage. I do like finding an anti-venom, though. That's nice. Good work on the pack, Susan. And we're having Susan McAllister investigate all the investigatable objects strictly because I don't like Susan McAllister, and if anything bad happens, I want it to happen to her.
Nature herself.
I'm not, you know, I try to be a little more chivalrous, usually in my personal dealings, but when it comes to Susan McAllister, fuck it, I'm not even gonna try and pretend like I'm being a gentlemanly or forthright or considerate or any of that sort of stuff. Fuck Susan McAllister. I want her to fail. Bad things can happen to her, and I'm never gonna care. I'm never gonna care. I hate you, Susan. I hate you. Plague Doctors, I resent the fact that I have to get one of you to maximum level. I sincerely do. Alright, so we got beast carcasses, ton of food. Well, let's just eat that up then. Gobble, 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 robble, robble, robble. I don't know why I waxed Hamburglar for a moment there. Actually, I'm not even sure if the Hamburglar still says robble, robble, robble. I mean, it never really made a lot of sense to say robble, robble, robble in the first place, but... So we have to use this in a fight as well? Man, I hate that thing. That, so far, is my chief objection to the Houndmaster. The dog treats, I don't like the mechanic at all. It's bad. Reeling, about to break. I don't really think you can say we're dazed, reeling, and about to break from a 5 fucking damage critical. So we've done... Okay, so far that attack has done a grand total of 8 damage. And that hit 2 targets, by the way, and did 8 damage. So let's take a look here and see what other kind of damage we can get. Garrett Jax has done 0. Admittedly, that's a 0. Burrick, I want you to try and bleed all these guys for me. Okay. We also got a critical on that, so we did get a little damage back. You know, that Hound's Rush is also kind of unimpressive. I'm very tempted to get rid of it. The bleeds are nice, but they just don't seem to amount to much, even after the stacking. 4 for Katniss Everdeen, so far Katniss is tied with our Plague Doctor. Alright, so Garrett Jax has done 17 damage. He's well ahead of everyone else. Burrick, buddy. Honestly, you know what? I think maybe the everybody gets a bleed thing. I'm kind of coming around to the point that is maybe a sucker's bet. Maybe, just maybe, that is a sucker's gambit. I'd like to point out that this guy is going to die from the blight, but if the rest of the team wasn't sucking hind tit, he'd already be dead. And Katniss Everdeen is going to kill him anyway, so it hardly matters. Yeah, Plague Doctors, the dots are just not worth it. This fucking rain of whips with all the bleeding is really starting to get a little irritating, though, I gotta admit. Now, we can do something about some of that, because Susan McAllister, I actually kind of like Battlefield Bandage. I think it's actually one of the better abilities. Now, just fight him. I'm gonna forget to use that Dog Biscuit in 100% of cases. I don't like that ability at all. I mean, I would just prefer to have the Houndmaster be better. Slightly better all the time, not dramatically better once in a while. There are too many ways to make that have negative impact. Like, you forget to use it, or... Especially since you can't use it before combat, either. That's also kind of a drawback. It could be implemented better. If you want to do it, make it just give the Houndmaster an actual buff. I mean, just give them, like, a buff skill, like the Jester or something. Just give them something along those lines. It seems more useful. Alright, so we got a map, that's good. We'll know what we're coming across. We actually literally only have one possible room. And we didn't get to scout that, so fantastic. This team has done okay, all things considered, though. I mean, they do have a pretty decided lack of healing, but even with that, I think they're still holding their own. We're going to lose money on this run. I mean, that's a definitive, absolute thing that's going to happen. We are going to lose money on this one. Uruk is getting racked up. Rabid Rushers I hate these enemies. I really do think I hate these more than any other single enemy unit in the game. And our leper has quite a bit of stress. I mean, he got a little bit back there. See that now, you know what? Now that I think of, the more I use the Hound's Harry, the more I realize that it is, in fact, a complete and total sucker's bed. It really is a sucker gambit. Dots are too slow. That right there is why dots are bad. 17 damage, that's more than anybody else is going to do over the entire... I did not mean to mark you, I actually meant to use suppression. Shit. Alright. On the plus side, the Hound's Harry actually did pick up the kill. Now, granted, bleeds don't leave corpses. Stuff that dies to blight, again, doesn't leave corpses. And there is a non-zero advantage into having attacks that don't leave corpses behind. That is beneficial. But are corpses a big enough problem to make that like a feature, a class-defining feature? I really don't think so. I really don't. It's just not important enough. It's really not. Especially when you have abilities like Purge, where you can just have the leper whack every corpse in a pile and then it's not even a problem anymore. Got more damage out of that one incision than we did out of all of those blights combined, I think. Alright, so let's drop a key in the heirloom chest. Busts? Nope, citrine and gold. Well, I'm glad that thing was so fucking stashed full of heirlooms. What's going on here? Yeah, we have a little bit of a bleeding issue. We're gonna have to try and get some food in you, sir. We do only have to do 2 more rooms, and we do have 2 empty... Oh, we forgot to look in this thing, that's why. Hidden treasures in a coffin. I mean, we fought for them. We at least ought to claim them.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted.
We're gonna eat up our food. Alright, so... Slight mess up there, but I'm sure I was ranting about the fact that plague doctors are terrible. Or talking about how I'm more... You know what? Burrick? I honestly think Hound's Harry is kind of a sucker's bet. I really do. It's a tiny, tiny bleed. And yes, you could stack them up, but how often do you really want to be fighting? Here's the thing. You gotta ask yourself, from a defensive standpoint, do you really want to be fighting 4 monsters? Because the only way this thing is effective at all is if it hits 4 items, or it hits 4 targets. If you're hitting less than 4 targets, it becomes dramatically less useful. And the question you have to ask yourself is, do you want to be fighting 4 targets for 3 or 4 turns in long enough for this attack to actually rack up some damage? And I think the answer is no. You really don't want to be fighting them that long. Which, as strange as it may sound, I think makes Blackjack a better... Especially considering we have plus 30% stun, I think it makes Blackjack a better attack. I would prefer to Cry Havoc, we just can't do it from the 2nd position. You know, Guard Dog is not terribly. You know what, I'm gonna go with Guard Dog. I actually think Guard Dog is a better ability than Hound's Harry. Hound's Harry is just... It's not good. It looks good on paper, but in practice, it's actually kind of terrible. If you think about the actual damage numbers and do the math, it's basically 3 damage per target it hits. So if it hits 4 guys, it only does 12 damage. Can we get more than 12 damage out of any single attack from the rest of our team? And the answer is pretty easily. We can pretty easily get that kind of damage out of a lot of other people on the team. Katniss can easily do that if she hits a target with just a regular shot. I mean, hell, Susan McAllister gets close with Incision and it's terrible. I'm just looking to see who has our best trap. This team is not good with traps. Well, that means Susan McAllister does it. Yep, there you go. When in doubt, throw Susan into the fucking jaws of death. When in doubt, throw... I have a shovel, Burrick. Please don't dig under that. I have a shovel. Please don't dig. Yeah, fucking jerk. You got the Red Plague. Well, that's fucking horrifying, actually. Great. Now there's going to be a masked man that shows up at our party. Everyone's going to drop dead. I'm going to catch the blame as the host. You really kind of boned me on that one, Burrick. Like, not cool, bro. Not cool. And you might try and blame it on Vixen. Oh, you know, Vixen smelled the rotting corpses lying under the ground. You know how she is. She likes to dig. But you're the Hound Master, Burrick. You're supposed to keep that shit under control. Not supposed to let that dog run wild. Just saying, Burrick. Do a better job at your job. We're out of shovels. Well, this is gonna put... Yeah, our leper's gonna be like 4 stress from a freak out. Everybody on this team is going in for stress relief. I mean, that was always gonna be a thing that happened anyway. These guys can do a mission at a time. That's the way we're going to have to realize that this team works. They can do literally one mission, and then that's going to be it. And so that's quest complete. We did get scouting. It's another empty room, so we might as well continue adventuring. We'll go this way. We'll pick up whatever is in this crate, and then we'll leave. There is no advantage to continuing any further. There was actually no advantage in continuing to that crate either. And I have yet to remember to use a dog treat. Not a single time. I really hate that mechanic. Alright, so 2 busts is effectively what we got, and 5,000 gold. We're going to spend 5,000, actually we're going to spend more than 5,000 gold treating whatever these ailments are. Wow, we got not a disease for everybody. Well, that's fine, but it's still going to cost us more than 1,000 gold to get rid of that. Phangophobia is terrible because we can't go into darkness anymore. Nervous is also just terrible. Warren's Tactician is actually an okay pickup. Susan McAllister got neither disease nor negative quirk or positive quirk. Honestly, I would prefer that. If the options are take that roll at the end of the mission or never take that roll at the end of the mission, I would choose never take that roll every time. In the current patch, I would always rather have nothing than what it currently gives, which means it probably needs some tweaking. If there's no situation where 10 out of 10 times, if you ask me, do you want to take the end of mission quirk? And my option was 10 out of 10 times to say, yes, either take the chances, or no, never take it. I would never, ever, ever, ever take it. Never. I would never take it. Which means it needs to be tweaked. The reward for completing a mission shouldn't be a punishment that costs you money. I'm standing firm on that position. It's not a good mechanic. Alright, so we gotta go get rid of some diseases. Can we upgrade our sanitarium yet? Yes, finally. Alright. We still need another 72 busts, or rather at least another 69 busts. Yeah, 69 busts. Oh yeah. But we still need a bunch more because we want to fully upgrade our sanitarium. But we have to take people in to get rid of their various diseases and ailments. Susan McAllister has nothing. Burrick, though, has the red plague, which as you can see is absolutely terrible. It's got to go. Minus crit. Huge bleed penalty, so let's get rid of that. Anybody else got a disease? I'm just going to check. I don't think anybody else is diseased. I'm pretty sure we may have cured the remainder of the staff. Katniss Everdeen has tetanus. Well, that's got to go. Tetanus is really bad. Get rid of that tetanus, Katniss. That's not cool. You can't be walking around with lockjaw, man. I mean, how are you going to kiss PETA with lockjaw? You can't really open your mouth. I suppose you could do a closed mouth kiss, but that seems needlessly chaste, Katniss. I mean, you're never going to woo the guy if you got to kiss him closed mouth all the time. That's just, let's just face it. That's not going to happen. It's just not sexy. So we have no other stress relief that needs to be done. We are slowly bleeding money, so I'm trying to be a little careful about what I do. Slow draw, though, that's got to go. We can't let slow draw linger until it becomes permanent. That one's too bad. Anybody else got anything? God-fearing I don't care about. Nervous is actually kind of shitty. Let's do that one as well. Susan, you're bloodthirsty, which is fine. Burrick is busy. He has, Paranormania I kind of would like to get rid of. Hopfrog, yeah, you're all right. Actually, Hopfrog needs stress relief. Let's get Hopfrog. He will only pray, and I believe last time I filled up the transept like an idiot. So let's go ahead and just put you back in there. That's fine. Looks like Ron Weasley's doing a little extra devotion. Okay. Fear of beasts kind of needs to go. Unquiet mind. None of these are. Yeah, let's get rid of Arya Stark here. Why is this closed? Oh, well, alright, I guess that'll have to wait, Arya. So there you go. That's everything we can do except for some stress relief. So let's get Susan McAllister in. She'll do anything. And anything does include drinking. So let's get the drinking done. And we could probably do a little stress relief on Arya Stark, who is a witness and just won't do anything religious, which is fine. You'll get fucking hammered then. You can celebrate your religion and enjoy the spirits of spirituous beverages, Arya Stark. That's the kind of spirit. That's Arya's kind of holy spirit. She's talking about grain alcohol. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed the episode, feel free to drop a like down in the comments section. Of course, your support really does mean a lot to us. And if you'd like to listen to me bitch about plague doctors being terrible on a more regular basis, you might consider subscribing as well, of course. We post new episodes of Darkest Dungeon every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Right now, however, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.